Hi guys, I'm Eileen. Today I'm doing a review for my Hermes Kelly Sellier 25 and I'll also be comparing it to my Hermes Kelly 28 Retourne and the Birkin 25. So without further ado, let's get started. So this is my Hermes Kelly Sellier 25 in gold color and with gold hardware. This leather is Epsom leather, which is fairly easy to look after. First of all, the Epsom leather is quite stiff, so it keeps the shape of the bag extremely well. Secondly, this material is also quite scratch resistant and not very water sensitive like other leathers from Hermes, such as box leather and Clermont's. Another bonus is that Epsom leather is quite a light material. So this bag weighs about 500 grams, whereas my Birkin 25 in the Epsom leather is about 600 grams. I really enjoy the Epsom leather from Hermes, so I highly recommend it, unless if you're not really into structured bags. Apparently, Sellier refers to the outside stitching of the edges, which gives this bag a very clean and crisp silhouette. This kind of stitching also makes the Kelly Sellier look a little bit bigger compared to the Kelly Retourne in the same size, even though it tends to fit a bit less due to the lack of flexibility. Because the corners are so defined, at first I was a bit worried about getting scratches, but so far I can't see any sign of wear and tear just yet. However, that might be because this is in quite a small size, so I feel like it's not in anyone's way and I don't have to baby it that much even in a very crowded place. Also, I only have this bag in the size 25, so I'm not sure if this bag in a bigger size would require more attention. This bag has the very beautiful contrast white stitching. So far, I've not had any staining or color transfer, even though I love wearing black colored jeans. But then again, I do carry this bag on the top handle a lot, so that might have been the reason as well. And just like the Hermes Birkin, Picatinny and Lindy, the Kelly 25 comes with 4 feet on the bottom as well, which I love because they really help to protect the leather. The handle on the Kelly 25 is really generous, so you can either carry this bag as a top handle bag or on the crook of your arm. As you can see, I have a twilly on for 2 reasons. First of all, it really helps to protect the handle because I carry this bag a lot using the top handle. Secondly, I think a twilly in the right color can really help to complete the look of a Kelly bag. My SA suggested to go for something blue and I agree with her because it really goes well with the gold color. This is my Hermes Kelly 28 Retourne in black togo leather and gold hardware. The weight of this piece is about 720 grams, whereas the Sellier refers to the outside stitching. Retourne means the inside stitching of the edges, which makes the corners quite a bit rounded and look a bit softer. The togo leather is quite scratch resistant, but because it's quite a soft material, it can look a bit saggy, especially with use. So this bag measures 28 centimeters from here to here. It's only a 3 centimeter difference, but visually it does look quite a bit bigger compared to the Hermes Kelly Sellier 25. In fact, even the side profile looks quite a bit wider. The handle on the Kelly 28 is quite a bit wider as well, even though the height is actually almost the same for both pieces. I would say both Kelly Sellier and Kelly Retourne are very feminine looking bags, but I think the Kelly Sellier looks a bit more classy and ladylike, whereas the Kelly Retourne has a more casual aesthetic to it. The shoulder strap on the Hermes Kelly bag is detachable but not adjustable. It is fairly thin, but it feels really nice on the shoulder and it stays put nicely. For some reason, the shoulder strap on the Kelly 25 is slightly longer than the strap on the Kelly 28, but both bags drop at about the same place, which is around the hip area. And just for reference, I'm 162 centimeters tall. For me, this is actually the perfect drop for a shoulder bag. The strap is a little bit too short if you want to use the bag crossbody. As you can see, the bag will sit quite high up, and because the top handle will sit very close to your body, opening the bag would be a bit tricky. I personally think the Hermes Kelly bags look the best as shoulder bags or top handle bags, so I never use my crossbody. That said, I think the Hermes Mini Kelly looks really cute and chic as a crossbody bag. Next, let's talk about the opening. So generally, opening and closing a Kelly bag takes a bit of getting used to anyway, but with the Kelly Sellier, it takes a little bit more effort because the Epsom leather is quite stiff. So when I open the flap, I do have to pull the leather a bit to get to the inside. Whereas with the Kelly 28 Retourne, it's really quite effortless to get a decent access because the leather is so soft. I also want to show you the turn lock on both pieces. So the buckle on the Kelly 28 is quite a bit bigger than the one on Kelly 25, and when I leave the key sideways, there's quite a generous gap between the key and the buckle, and it's really easy to open the flap. Whereas the key on the Kelly 25 sits very close to the buckle and there's not much of a gap. So when I open the bag, the bottom part of the key does contact the buckle quite a bit, and I do have to push the key out of the buckle. In terms of closing the bag, I personally think the Kelly Sellier is a little bit easier to close. So as I mentioned before, I do have to pull the leather to get access to the inside, but when I let go, the leather kind of springs back to the resting position. Whereas with the Kelly Retourne, everything kind of lets go and the bag stays open. So I do have to support the bag to make sure the key aligns with the buckle to close it and then adjust the straps. To be honest, I've gotten used to maneuvering both pieces, but I think if you're on the go a lot and you have to get in and out your handbag every 2 minutes, a Kelly bag might not be the most user-friendly bag. Personally, I prefer the Kelly Sellier. I mean, it did take me some time to get used to opening it, but closing the bag is not as tricky as the Kelly Retourne. Personally, I'm not really into accessorizing my handbags with leather charms anyway, but I think with the Kelly Sellier, it's especially a hassle. So basically, when I open and close the flap, the rodeo charm can sometimes get caught underneath the flap, and sometimes if I'm in a rush and when I open the flap, it can also be flicked to the back like so. Whereas on a Birkin, the rodeo is never really in the way because I don't have to open and close the flap. So I would suggest to take that into consideration, especially if you're thinking to get an Hermes Kelly bag as your first bag. Just see how you like the bag before buying an expensive leather charm. The blind stamp on the Kelly bags used to be on the Kelly belt, but now you can find them on the left corner on the inside. It can be a bit tricky to locate at first, especially because the Epsom leather is so stiff. So the blind stamp basically consists of 2 pieces of information, which are the date stamp and the craftsman stamp. The first letter is the date stamp, which tells you the year the bag was made, and the rest of the numbers and alphabets are the craftsman stamp, which represents the artisan who made the bag. Supposedly, if you send your bag back to Paris for repairs, Hermes will then identify the artisan using this coding system, and the very same person will then carry out the repairs. Inside the Hermes Kelly Sellier 25, there's a pocket on one side and a zip pocket on the other side. Because this is quite a small bag, I don't usually use a bag insert for it. So I'm just going to show you how much it can fit. So this is my Louis Vuitton mini pochette, Chanel mini O case, Louis Vuitton coin purse, a pack of tissues, and my phone, which is an iPhone 8 Plus. So these are really all my essentials, and I can still close the flap easily. I don't usually carry a water bottle in my Kelly 25, but the biggest bottle that can fit in it is a 330ml bottle, and I can still fit in my coin purse, Chanel O case, and my phone. As you can see, the side profile of a Kelly bag tapers from bottom to the top, so it really looks like it can fit more than it actually does, because you can't really fill the bag to the brim, otherwise the flap will not close. Next, let's see how much an Hermes Kelly 28 Retourne can fit. So inside the Kelly 28, there are 2 pockets on one side and a zip pocket on the other side. Because the togo leather is so much more flexible and softer, this bag can fit quite a bit more. So I have the same water bottle, which is about 300 ml, a mini iPad, mini pochette, Chanel O case, coin purse, sunglasses, a pack of tissues, and my phone. And really, there's still a bit of room for bits and pieces, and I can close the flap quite easily. I used to think the Hermes Kelly 28 was the perfect size, but after having the Kelly 25, I think this size actually works better for me. But then again, I don't usually carry a lot, so I think if you're quite comfortable using mini bags, the size 25 should work quite well because it can certainly fit more than a mini bag. And if you're quite petite, I think this size will look quite flattering as well. So between the Kelly Retourne and the Kelly Sellier, I actually prefer the Sellier, but because this is quite a structured bag, I don't think I'll ever get a size bigger than 25 because I'm a bit worried it will look a bit too boxy or formal. Whereas the size 25 is quite dainty, so I feel like it's quite a versatile bag. I often wear this bag with jeans and t-shirts, and I think it goes really well with casual outfits as well. Next, I'm gonna compare the Hermes Kelly Sellier 25 to the Birkin 25. So this is in black Epsom leather, and because this is a special order piece, the hardware is actually brushed gold. The handles on the Birkin 25 are quite narrow. They do fit my wrists, but they don't go all the way up to the crook of my arm like the Kelly Sellier 25. And in the winter, when I have to wear more layers, I do struggle a bit more. To be honest, that doesn't bother me because I just really love carrying my Birkin 25 as a top handle bag. Although they are both in size 25, the Birkin looks a little bit bigger, especially when you compare the side profile of both bags. The inside of the Birkin looks quite similar to the Kelly bags, so there's a pocket on one side and a zip pocket on the other side. Because I never close the flap of my Birkin, this bag can fit quite a lot more. In fact, it can fit more than a Kelly Retourne 28. So I have the mini iPad, the water bottle, mini pochette, Chanel O case, iPhone 8 Plus, a hand cream, sunglasses, a pack of tissues, and there's still a bit of room for more. If I had to choose between the Kelly Sellier 25 and the Birkin 25, I would definitely go for the Birkin 25 because it's such an easy bag to use, seeing I can just get in and out the bag. And because the opening is so wide, I can easily reach for my things. When I first looked into Hermes bags, I actually wanted the Kelly bags first because of the shoulder straps. But as it turns out, I actually prefer the Birkin bag way more. And just like the Kelly Sellier, I think a Birkin 25 is the perfect bag to transition from day to night as well. In fact, between the two bags, I feel like the Birkin is a bit more versatile, whereas the Kelly Sellier is a bit more on the feminine side. In terms of taking care of my Hermes handbags, I usually keep the shoulder strap inside its little dust bag, and then I will leave this inside the handbag and keep the handbag in the big dust bag. And when you buy an Hermes bag, it usually comes with some airbags or air bubbles, which you can keep inside the handbag to keep it supported. I do that for my Kelly Retourne because again, the togo leather is quite soft, but with my Epsom pieces, I actually leave the air bubbles out and both my Epsom handbags are still looking brand new. To be honest, I don't do anything too fancy for my handbags. I just make sure to look after them when I use them, and when I get back home, I'll leave them in the dust bags. Another thing I do is I will turn on my air dehumidifier a few hours every day just to take away the humidity in the air. And when the time is right, I might send my Hermes pieces for a spa at Hermes. So that's my review video about my Hermes Kelly Sellier 25, Kelly Retourne 28, and the Birkin 25. I hope you find this video helpful. If you have any other questions, please let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. I will see you in my next one. Have a nice day.